kinds of sentences. The first one's called a simple sentence. Now, a simple sentence is a sentence that you're used to writing. It's a sentence that has one subject and it has one predicate. Now, you might think, well, what exactly is a subject or a predicate? Well, the subject, if we look at our grammar wall back there, the subject would fall under noun or pronoun. Okay, it's what our sentence is about. So it's a person, place, thing, or an idea. Okay? Person, place, thing, or idea. Or it's a pronoun. Okay? A pronoun like he, she, it. Something that talks about the noun or, okay? So that is the subject of our sentence. This is basically your noun or your pronoun. Now the predicate is everything else. It's what everything, the rest of your sentence. It has to have a verb in it. It's what the subject does or is. Okay? So this one has to have your verb in it. So, an example of a simple sentence would be something like, the class read books. Okay, put my period right there. Now, the subject of this sentence, well, what is the subject of this sentence? Who can tell me what the subject of this sentence is? What is it?
Class.
Not just class. The class. It's everything kind of leading up to what it is. The class. Now, what is the predicate? And tell me the predicate and the verb in that predicate.
Read books is the predicate and read is the verb.
Yes. Read is the verb. Read books is the predicate. The predicate tells us what the subject does. Okay? So, this is a simple sentence. Go ahead and write a simple sentence on your whiteboard that has one subject and one predicate. Remember, the subject is our noun and our pronoun from the grammar wall. Okay? And once you're done, show me. Like right away, show me. And I'm going to write one up here. All right, I see a lot of good ones. I'm just going to choose one. I saw one that says, the mouse ate cheese. Who can tell me, raise their hand and tell me, what is the subject of this sentence?
The mouse.
The mouse. Who can tell me what's the predicate and the verb of this sentence? Ate cheese, that's the predicate. What's the verb? What's the one word? Remember, the verb shows us physical or mental action, being, or state of being. Ate. Good job, guys. Okay, so it seems like we know our simple sentences. We know how to write a sentence with one subject and one predicate. Well, now, remember compound words? Compound words are where you take two complete words and you put them together. Now, they're not contractions. We don't use apostrophes, but something like rainbow or baseball, okay? Cupcake. Those are compound words. We take the two words and we put them together to make a new word. Well, guess what? We can do that with sentences, and they're called compound sentences. They have more than one subject. And they have more than one predicate. More than one subject and more than one predicate. You're basically taking two complete sentences and you're putting them together. But we actually have to use some things in between them, and we'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to take two simple sentences. Two complete simple sentences. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use the mouse ate cheese. That was my simple sentence from the last one. I'm also going to use another one. The mouse ran away. Now sometimes in your writing, I will see people who will use both of these sentences and they'll just say the mouse ate cheese, the mouse ran away as one sentence. What do we call that? We put two sentences in there and we don't put anything in between them. What's that called?
Comma.
What's that called? We put them, and it just doesn't. It's called a run-on sentence. You're right. It's a run. But we have to put, in order to make this a compound sentence, to put these together, we have to use two things. The first one is a conjunction word in between the two sentences. If you look on our grammar wall, we're going to use our coordinating conjunctions. There are 4 of them. And, but, or, and so. These are our 4 coordinating conjunctions. These are the ones we use to put together compound sentences. So look, I'm going to flip the page. I'm going to write a new one with using one of those. I'm going to say, the mouse ate cheese. Now, before I put my conjunction, I have to put a comma. Compound sentences have to have commas in them. Then I'm going to put my conjunction. Am I going to use and, but, so, or? If I'm the next sentence is going to say the mouse ran home. And, yes. And the mouse ran home. Period. Okay? What are my 2 complete sentences in this compound sentence? I have 2 complete simple sentences in this compound sentence. What is it?
The mouse ate cheese and the mouse ran home.
The mouse ate cheese and the mouse ran home. Boom. Those are my 2 complete sentences. I use a comma and a conjunction in between. Alright, does that make sense? Now, if I'm really writing a compound sentence, I'm probably not going to put the mouse twice. I might change that to, and he ran home. Look at our grammar wall, or she ran home. Man. What kind of a word is he or she? Look at our grammar wall. Where does he or she fit in there? Ryan? Yes, it's a pronoun. So I replaced my noun with a pronoun, so we didn't have the same noun there twice. The mouse ate cheese and the mouse ran away. Now, I'm going to try 2 new sentences, and we're going to see which coordinating conjunction, and, or, but, or so, are we going to use. Here we go. The boy could buy a fish. He could by a bird. What I want you to do right now on your whiteboards, I want you to put these into a compound sentence. Write them into a compound sentence, then show me on your board when you're done. A compound sentence that has one of the coordinating conjunctions. Now, one thing, this might change your conjunction. He can only buy one of them. That might change it. I saw some of you got it exactly right. And some of them you were using a different conjunction, and once I told you that, it changed it, didn't it? Okay, so, all right. I like what I'm seeing so far. I have the boy could buy a fish, comma, or he could buy a bird. This or shows that you basically can only have one. It's this or that, okay? All right. So that is a compound sentence. Compound sentence takes two simple sentences. In this case, the boy could buy a fish, he could buy a bird, puts them together with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. So when you look at a compound sentence, it will have two simple sentences in there.